Hello, Herbert. Ace Model Slayer Erpaderp. I am kind of. I, d- I dropped this that I was working on last week, and you can see the seat is bent down, and a wheel and wheel holder are missing. I do have those bits, but I didn't really feel like enduring all of that flash, really, is the main thing I didn't feel like enduring. So, instead, let's Hetz! Ah! This is going to be a fun kit. I probably won't get it done today in one stream, but I'm going to try. And that's all anybody can ask, I guess. This one, I haven't done one with a... Dropped it absolutely not on purpose. I didn't. It was in the box and I knocked that over. Dropped it. Herbert was building a Hetzer. Suddenly he wanted some seltzer. It was very bad. He thought he'd been had. And now his shirt is much wetter. That's true. How you doing, Corvus? Trakan, I hope you are both well. Haven't seen one of the die-cast hulls for a while. Makes a satisfying sound when you drop it. And that means we don't have to add any weights. We'll get to that bit later. The first step is just pulling air off the sprue. The first step is actually not on the sprue I was looking at. Also, just, so you know what's coming, we got some sick polycap action. First step is the front plate, which I think this is. Yes, C1. Much better once this week is over. Well, it's Tuesday the week. It's probably still Monday for you. The week isn't nearly over at all, I'm sorry to say. Slept a bit, painted a bit, also bought the Mandrake Project by Bruce Dickinson. I hope it's awesome. I have not heard it. Bee. Bees. These bits. The instruction says note direction of B10 and 11. So I will note direction of B10 and 11. "11" goes on the left. Maybe I don't need the whole box with the sprues in it. There is not much to this kit. Make sure I don't lose those precious polycaps. I should probably put the decals somewhere too before I throw the box on the floor. Yep, looks outside still Monday. Hate when that happens. Here's one thing I forgot to set up. My phone. I am well prepared. Make sure the lens is clean. At some point it's noticeable that how do we continue this song? Yes, let's do it, new wave of British heavy metal. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that, though. I don't know what that means when I press the camera button. Probably means, oh, you gotta restart your phone for no real reason, because I don't want the camera to work. What a piece of dog shit. Every time I forget how to restart my stupid phone and I trigger Bixby. Who the fuck wants to use Bixby? Nobody. I guess we can clean those bits up while I wait. Off to a fantastic start. Carefully slice that without slicing too deep into the plastic or my finger. Also paid 15 euros or 25 Australian dollars for a simple CD. It's a good price nowadays. I guess that makes more sense. If you don't want the extra stuff, you can get the plain CD. That sounds like the price of a regular CD when I was actively buying CD. I believe you can set up what long pressing the power button does. Probably, but I'd forget what it was anyway. I was pressing the wrong button. The wrong combination of buttons. It's just annoying that Bixby is like, me? Bixby? You've chosen to use me? No, fuck off. Looks pretty neat. Has this phone started? Yes. Phone is starting. It's better than nothing. So what's the good word on the opposite side of the planet? I don't know that we have any good words. Except maybe, moist. That's a good word. Surely. By the way, you called this tank Hetzer. The German Jagdpanzer 38T Society will come for you. Good. I'll give them a right good beating about the head. All one of them. It is funny when people get all butt blasted about calling it a Hetzer. That's why I do it as much as I can. I might consider if I want to change my speed. to deal with how bright this plastic is. Should be fine. And or dandy. Saw you fighting wolves and boars lately. You were very successful. Nearly. Yeah, but people who whine about calling the Jagdpanzer 38T a Hetzer are definitely not wolves. They are boars, but different kind. Enough of that. Let's glue some bits of plastic together. If I can get the focus good. The problem is holding the phone, the phone being here, is a little too close to my face for it to be usable or for me to really determine if it's well focused. Also, for some reason, I had it set to photo. What a ding-a-ling. Yeah. Make sure I put these on the right way up. Wouldn't do to have them on the right side, but the wrong way up. Seems correct. There we go. One authentic Hetzer front plate. Lower front plate. Ooh. Model completed. So very, very funny. Oh man. I'm upset. We have to use super glue. Harumph. We gotta glue the front plate onto the front. That's simple. We can do that. Also gotta get the suspension doodattery. And attach those. These are all the same. Because they're all numbered 8. Number 8. Belch. Number 8. Belch. Number 8. Belch. I'm making an enthusiastic Simpsons reference. There's also return rollers. I should clip those out too. The Hetzer is an unusual German vehicle. It doesn't have that many wheels at all. Guess it isn't like a design that originated with the Germans. That's probably why. This is very sensible modeling music. These don't need much cleanup because they will be behind the wheels. And even though there aren't many of them, there's enough to hide this. Okay, now we are ready for super glue. Ugh. That's a challenge by the glue god. Are you a true believer? Show it by taking the stony way of super glue. Oh man, these times are sent to try man's gluing souls. Sounds religion-y. Sounds like I've stolen it from some other religious crap. Prepare for glue. Oh, don't tell me it's bonded itself shut. Hiss. Shitting dog ass turd. I know. This'll undo it. This'll undo it. Fuck you, super glue. Now I've got a pair of pliers on the floor. Aha! Defeated. That's probably a sign that I need to just buy another bottle. Seems well and good. Look at that. Very suspension-y. Remember, kids, don't drink and model. Why the bloody hell not? Hetzer was designed by Bohemian Machine Factory. That was just a German name. After invading Czechoslovakia, the factory that built the Panzer 38T was renamed. They got the task of building a Jagdpanzer under 18 tons. they used the chassis of the 38T. That's why it got the not German-like few wheels. That is true. I did know that, believe it or not. They were like, oh, we don't know if this tank is going to work for us. It doesn't have many wheels. But they used it anyway. I imagine when it was sent to the crews, they would have been like, oh, Hans, I don't know about this. It has so few wheels. You cannot fight a war with so few wheels. But they did it anyway. Sunny, but now thunderstorming Florida. Hello from Australia. TJ Lemaster? Lemaster! The Master. That's step 2. Look at that. I've got 2 steps done in 20 minutes. This is definitely not like the Burger Panther. It's got drive sprockets. I was expecting that to be where the polycaps go, but apparently not. Apparently those are for mounting the gun. That seems fair, but I was hoping there would be polycaps sooner in the build. A new record. Okay, drive sprockets and idler wheels. Hey, Stephen Haynes Models, how you doing? It annoyingly looks like the sprue and sprocket tooth are one and the same. It's very difficult to see where one ends. Guess that's not really a big deal. Unless you're a member of the Drive Sprocket Tooth Appreciation Society. I've also noticed that this is a jig for the tracks. Excuse me. Not 100% sure I really want to use it, because liquid cement will just... I'm trying to think of the word. Zoop down onto the frame and hold it all together, and that will be annoying. That's a problem for the immediate future, Herbert. The planning for 1945 was building the Hetzer as the German main AFV. But guess what? These plannings were bollocks. Bullocks or bollocks? Probably should get both sets of idlers and sprockets out. or off the sprue, because gonna need them. I'll keep them separated so I don't get confused. It will be unfortunate for me to get confused for the first time ever. Nobody wants that. Bollocks, not bullocks. Good. Bollocks, why not both? Okay, I guess I'll glue those together now. Not before I shuffle myself about and have a drink. Thirsty work gluing bits of plastic together, you know? There is enough play that you could possibly misalign those teeth. Just don't. Easy. Corvus has been dazed and confused for so long, it's not true. I see you're getting the lead out. There's a little nubbin there, which I'm assuming is a guide. I wonder if I might need to chop that off to get the tracks to all mesh properly. Look at that idler wheel. Whee! Goodbye. No, I caught it with my shirt. Whee. Trakan Belovich says, I watched a lot of Herbert's streams, never saw him confused. P.S. I lie a lot. It's true. Or letting the lead in. I've never thought of it that way. Does that count as lead poisoning? We're gonna need wheels. And along with that, a bit of plastic. I call it just a bit of plastic because I couldn't identify that for the life of me. Some final drives. One goes on the near side in the instructions, which is the left side of the hull. And now we spend not quite 5 years cleaning wheels up. And the first thing I do is not clean a wheel. Ugh. These are well enough molded that I only really need to remove the knob, and I appreciate that. It's very nice. This song seems way louder than the rest. So much nicer to clean these bits up than that Ace Models kit. I did mix these final drives up though. Fortunately, they are different enough that I should be able to tell them apart. They've got that little thingy on top. So if I put this one on this side, it fits totally wrong. We'd have a weird angle. And I guess now I've got to whip out the super glue again. For both this and the thing. I guess this is just a mount for something, possibly the rear hull. Simple enough. Pro tip, looking at the instructions helps in some cases. I don't know. Is this another one of your lies? A whole stack of super glue there, because glue is now measured in stacks. I don't know if the has a very slight bit of play to it, and I don't know how much that matters. I'm going to assume not much. Looking at the instructions, or having a sauerkraut in a meal snack, into meal snack. Why not both? Stop being too loud, whoever you are. Okay. There is a bit of plastic on plastic contact. We could glue those together. Just to be sure it's not gonna come apart with superglue's feeble, weak bonding powers. Go. And now wheels. Oh. We will.
I like your style. You make up your own rules, just like me.
I do make up my own rules. Hey, Admiral Mimo, how you doing? Thank you for the raid. I hope you're doing well. I was going to say something. The idler wheel is going to need super gluing, which is unfortunate. Possibly also the, maybe not. It doesn't seem to go on far enough for that pin to engage with the hole there. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. Oh, they just have to apply pressure. I was lying, it seems. Don't really want to glue the drive sprocket on just yet. Even though it has keying, I'm not sure I believe in the keying. And we need to put the wheels on before the idler for some reason. Not the case instructions. But I will put the wheels on. Not doing well, but this seems chill enough to not think about your problems for a while. Well, good. You're welcome to come here and chill, of course. Why will you not focus the way I want you to? Let's put 2 wheels on at once. Whoa, settle down. Reckless as fuck. They seem pretty straight. Not really expecting too much difficulty because this is a Tamiya kit. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Have people been starting trouble in our neighborhood? Fucking better not be. Shooting some b-ball outside of the school. Something, something, wheelie, something. Brand new wheel-related joke. That's gonna stay there, exactly where it should. No problem. I think your jokes are really good. Thank you for lying. At least they're always original and not the same joke over and over. I'm pretty sure this song already played. Go. Not many wheels. I'm going to retighten the super glue lid in the hopes that we never have to use it again. New wheel-related joke. The capital of New Zealand is Wheelington. Are any New Zealanders in the chat? Are we gonna get beaten up for that? Okay, it looks like they want tracks next. Do I want tracks next? Nobody asked me. I think I'm going to give the jig a try. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, we need 3 of... Yes, that is 3. I can count. Do you want tracks next? Not really, but I'm gonna do them anyway. A jig sounds Irish. I won't do an insulting attempt at an Irish accent. Not right now, anyway. 3 of these. And they don't look like they need any cleanup, which is really nice. Using this whole sprue as a jig is a little bit awkward, I guess is the right word. The problem I'm expecting is that when I apply glue, even if I put a tiny little bit, it's going to capillary action its way down onto the sprue. If they want to include jigs, they should be made out of a completely different material that will not work with the glue. Like metal or something. Can you imagine that? That would be super expensive. I'm gonna give it a whirl though. Maybe if I'm really careful with the glue. That's definitely not in my nature. And the trouble also is that being careful with the glue means not putting very much on, which means it probably won't be very strong. If it will even stay at all. Try again. Stop arsing about with the links and you'll stop having the glue evaporate on you. Now, is it stuck? No. This is very difficult to hold under the camera too. I'm going to say it's probably easier to put this on the tank. At that point, the jig is up. Oh man, I hate it when the jig is up. If I take this off, it'll probably shift out of position. So I'll leave it to bond for a few minutes. Hang on. It's not perfectly level. That defeats the purpose of a jig. That's absolute dog shit. I know the idea of the jig is to help but it doesn't. It really doesn't. Maybe I need to give it more time. Patience, dear Herbert. Okay. Do I add more glue just to make sure it will bond? Or do I leave it for a moment? I'm going to add a tiny bit of glue and hope it doesn't seep through to the bottom. And also hope that those are in the correct enough position that they mesh with the drive sprocket properly in its guide pin ordained position. The good thing is we just press that on. We don't actually have to glue it, so we do get a tiny bit of play. The parts. Why are you so small? They could be smaller, I guess. And it says to make 2 of those. I don't really want to make 2 of those. Tell me what to do. What if my Hetzer only wants 1 set of tracks? Nobody asked the Hetzer what it wants. Maybe I should actually video putting those on. Can't get it off. Feels like I'm about to break something when doing that. Probably want some extra video so I can waffle about the guide pin on there. That's probably fine and dandy. That looks like Hetzer running gear. That's what you want. Let's see if this is ready. I don't have one I prepared earlier, unfortunately. I want to just reef it off and potentially just unglue what I've done. I mean, the parts are together, but there's no... Maybe there is a benefit that I'm not seeing to having them done on the jig. And the instructions say to slide this in like this. And they just That does work pretty good, I suppose. I would have preferred if they just, like, to get everything perfectly lined up, if they just put, like, a bit of keying on top of that return roller or something. That would have made more sense in my mind. Maybe I'm just being wrong and stupid, but I'm allowed to be wrong and stupid. They haven't outlawed that yet. It doesn't sit on the return roller either, which is not cool. Now the question is the rest of the track going to fit all perfectly and nice? I suppose that is quite frequently the question with link and length tracks. Generally, Tamiyas are pretty good. Let's, for lack of better ideas, do the jig thing again. Make sure it goes around the correct way, otherwise the correct track orientation club will have some stern words for me. And I just don't want to hear them talk. Concerned that might have been too much glue there. That ought to hold the little SOBs. There is a law against stupidity, but sometimes laws are, well, in Tennessee they're planning a law that will outlaw chemtrails. What a stupid place. Look look at that. We're almost, once I put the other top set of tracks on, almost done with step 6. I'm so productive. Number 3? Is this one? Look at that, a single link. Okay. Now this will go smoothly and flawlessly. There won't be any explosions or plastic errors. There will, however, be some grim black metal. Perfect track applying music. Normally we usually listen to the epic channel when I'm modeling, but today we're listening to grim black metal. Because why not? Looks like the top bit of track is tilted downward a bit. Nobody's ever going to notice that. Also, it's come up off of the return roller, which is annoying. Everybody will notice that. Notice that I wasn't videoing myself affixing the additional bit of track at the front. Yeah, we can film the entire thing on the other side. That doesn't look right. That's too sharp a bend there. Have I done it wrong? No, it's the kit that's wrong. It does certainly feel like there should be one more curved link there, though. Or could it be the upper run isn't in the right place? Even though the jig put it there? I'm just gonna glue it on. If that keying wasn't there, I could probably just roll the drive sprocket around a tiny little bit and have it fit real good. It's too late to cut it off now, Herbert. No! Carpet monster has struck. What a bastard. That doesn't look very good either. Definitely doesn't reach down far enough. Force it a tiny bit, but there's only so much that can be done at this point, which is unfortunate. I guess that means we make it better on the other side, and we just accept that the left side is the bad side. It's not that noticeable. Somebody will get all butt blasted about it, but it's not that noticeable. It's funny, you were thinking of buying this kit. Is it good? So far it's been okay. I would definitely recommend doing the tracks a bit differently than following the instructions. But it is a Tamiya kit, so the reasonable expectation is that it should be fairly decent. Let's see if the rest of the tracks link up. "99 parts of plastic on the sprue, 99 parts of plastic. Drop one down and pass it around, 98 parts of plastic on the sprue. Feed one to the carpet monster, 98 parts of plastic on the sprue." We need one of these. Are these the same? Looks like they are. Might be able to... No. Just accept that the Hetzer now has a bad side. Did the carpet monster strike? It sure did. But I recovered the part. Okay, let's see if we can get all of this on without exploding. Some say it can't be done. Some say Herbert is overly dramatic. That top bit is definitely on a tilt. Not a huge tilt, but I will have to pay attention to that on the other side. I don't think it'll really be noticeable anyway. I think that's mostly going to be covered. For whatever reason, I'm videoing this bit without actually videoing the rest. That's okay, it won't hurt to have double video of these. This is the fun bit. This is what everybody comes to see. You know what? It doesn't actually fit because it's meant to be another link there, but there's not really space for an entire link. Unless we push that up and have it not sit right on the wheel. Damn it. Ass shits. I'd be better off just using my fingers. Looks very bad there. We can just say that tracks are very loose.
Ass.
Ass. They're a good candidate for being covered in mud. Now, let's see if the other set stuck to the jig. You find the metal hull a stupid idea. Much better to have the weights, especially for painting's sake. I mean, I don't think the metal hull really affects painting at all. All it does is make it heavier. Though I do prefer the option to have or not have the weights myself. That is partly stuck to the jig. What a fantastic idea to have the jig for small bits of plastic where the glue can definitely very easily soak through, capillary action through, to be the exact same material as the tracks. And it hasn't helped line anything up. So, I'm going to pull this off again without breaking it. And I'm going to denubbify it. and now that wasn't very in focus for the video, but you get the idea. And now we should be able to position the tracks better with more motion in the drive sprocket, which is exactly why normally they would have the polycap. And I was confused that this one doesn't have polycaps. I feel comfortable gluing those to the sprocket, but I won't glue the top bit on just yet. I don't want to put any glue in there because it'll bond the sprocket to the drive. That's enough for now. Now we get to repeat the fun step of adding all of those links. Actually, it's not too bad. Excuse me. Don't really mind me some link and length tracks. I was for a moment concerned that I might have made an error with these and put the wrong one on. I don't think I did. They look like they're exactly the same. You'd like to build a Sherman and paint it hot pink? Thoughts? I think do it. It'll make some people really upset. Which is hilarious. Might as well cut this one out as well. My drive sprocket is wibbly wobbly, and that's annoying. Probably because I pulled it off so many times. Don't lose that. I feel like once we get this curve at the bottom right here, it should be fine for the rest of the run. And it had better be fine because I'm adding glue. Why can't I hold this? That's already looking way better. Way better enough that I am going to glue it all in good and proper. Plenty of glue for the glue god. And also, should probably be bonded there too. And we can't have that idler wheel untouched. Dear Mr. Tamiya, give me a free model and I will not call you a dog cunt. That ought to stay there. Maybe. It probably won't. I'll just rest it like that while I clip out some more bits. These are very light tweezers, but that's probably enough weight to hold everything in place. Speaking of tweezers, if you want 20% off, use code Herbert20 at 9 Steps Industries. Looks like we get one spare individual link on each sprue. Bonus. Wonder if that's bonded yet. Probably. Well, good enough anyway. Yeah. I don't like that. It's not really that noticeable on the camera. Maybe it's not that bad. Let's try putting the individual one here, where it should be a little bit less annoying to try and do with the big part in the way. That's not how it's meant to go. You meant to not push the other part up, you meant to go under it with no problems. Stop being a shit. Okay, so it doesn't quite fit as perfectly as I was hoping, but it's better than the other side. moderately. Maybe they just didn't design it right. Maybe we don't... Yeah, we do need that individual one. Ass shits. 750 ass shits. This is annoying because usually Tamiya's tracks are pretty good. Just can't get it to sit looking nicely, like it's got some slack to it. Because the slack shouldn't ride up over the return roll. The idler wheel. What if I move this one individual link to the top here? While making a huge mess of everything. That's what Herbert Erpaderps do. Why don't you assemble the links together and wrap around the wheel? Because that would be horrible. They would all be stiff and not in the correct position. You've got to consider the teeth on the drive sprocket. Normally, this sort of thing works pretty good. Mr. Tamiya this time has made a mistake. And it has to be Tamiya making the mistake because there's just too much track for the running gear. That looks moderately better. May have spoken too soon. This is really starting to cheese me off. Loose enough to slide it very slightly along. Still crap, but that might be the best we get. It looks a bit like there's some slack that isn't at the top of the wheel. It's slightly kinked, so it isn't straight. It's good enough. Still not as bad as the left side. Dear Mr. Tamiya, you have made a mistake. You are a dog cunt. I was hoping these tracks would look... Well, they look like tracks. They look fine. I was hoping they would look a lot better, though. Maybe part of the problem is that needs to be lower. But it doesn't show it as being lower in the... And it wouldn't really reduce the length enough to make a difference. We're just going to have to accept it for what it is. Built the Panzer 38T and the tracks were like a millimeter too long. Yeah, it's probably the same... I would imagine it's the same molds and designs for the tracks. I think the difference between the holes was... I think there was a difference between the 38T and Hetzer hole, but not in the running gear. But I could be wrong for the first time ever. And the next steps involve the upper hull. So I might as well get the upper hull. Those tracks were annoying, but still not as annoying as the Ace model kit I was working on last week. I may not resume working on that for quite a while. It's gonna take some time to forget. Okay, we want that. And also some doodads. And some other doodads. Some looking doodads. More grim, frostbitten music. I'm going to assume this doesn't actually need to be seen, but this nubbin might impede its fit. Nobody wants that. Maybe the nubbins do, but nobody cares what the nubbins. Complaint with a metal hull is bad with superglue like plastic cement. Well, that's because it's powder coated and that can come off. Everything's bad with superglue though. I've never had any of these tanks with the metal hull come apart, but I'd imagine if you dropped it, it would just break. I mean, maybe not the parts, but the bonds would almost certainly shatter. I hope that wasn't a guide knob I just sliced off. It probably wasn't. That's pretty neat, but that's probably going to be hidden by skirting. So I don't need to worry too much about it. It says to remove this, so I will. Don't know if those nubbins there are... does make a satisfying clunk when dropped. As I demonstrated earlier in the stream, I will not demonstrate it again. Very hull. It's a good test of the tank's durability. Do it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Clunk. Is that convincing? Okay. You go there. Maybe more glue, just to show what I mean business. And I'm willing to use the power of the glue god. That's obvious. Just drop it, that's good for it. Obviously a mount for... Maybe I was wrong. That is the mount for the hull, though. It's not... Maybe this is one that has the polycaps on it. For some reason. Probably to make installing the hull top easier, because it looks like to get it to when the engine deck is in place, the rear plate, you have to put it on like that and then down. Odd design choices, Mr. Tamiya, but you do you. It's important to try different things from time to time, even for people like Mr. Tamiya. Well, that's not as weird as I thought it was. That's simple enough. I can get that on. Definitely put too much glue there. But as the kids say, better to have too much glue than no glue. Trouble is, it's a bit difficult to know if you've got it on like straight that way. It looks straight with the side of the hole there, but it might not be. But that's how it is, so that's how it's staying. I'm sure if it needs nudging in the future, we can just add some glue to loosen it up and shunt it into the correct position. Can't imagine that being too difficult. They need more in their range, like a jumbo Sherman 76W, Panzer 4D, FG, Panzer 3 Hurley, etc., and a Bob Semple. I think the most important one is the Bob Semple. I thought they did have a jumbo. I don't know. Paying attention is hard. I wasn't even sure if I'd built this kit or not yet when I bought it. Okay, so now we've got this spy device. That's easy enough. And this thing pops up through that hole there.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. Let's put it on the hole. Let's just drop it and mess up all of our hard work. Put it on the hole there so that we can have a look at how it might look in the future. Wonderful. Jumbo is in their 35th scale, where I might be thinking of the Easy 8, which I built in 48th. Do not currently have the capital to invest in it. That is unfortunate. Have you tried the cruel crime of theft? Don't. I'm full of bad advice. That's because I'm a bad person. The next step seems to be assembling the inner doodadery for the gun. I think that might be best left for next time. For I'm starting to get hungry and it's almost been 2 hours. Also, I have to do things. Ugh. I have to go out and interact with humans. I'm gonna leave it there for now then. Next time I'll work on the gun and the rest of the hull details, and all of it will go together nice and easily with no issues. The tracks took longer than I had expected, but so far it's a pretty good kit. It's very neat, and I'm really happy about not cleaning up tons of flash. Looking at you ace models. Maybe I'll do a small raid if I see somebody. If my following page loads in time. I don't know. I'm not going to raid anybody. Dear Mr. Local Hobby Shop Owner, I have decided to try the cool crime of theft on the advice of Herbert Erpaderp. I will thus be thieving your Tamiya 35th scale M4A3E2 Sherman Jumbo. Don't tell them I sent you. You want me to get into trouble? I mean, it was my terrible advice and I should be responsible, but I don't want to. Don't steal things, kids. Don't steal things from hobby shops. Steal it from criminals like supermarkets and, I don't know, big corporations that are evil. That's my advice. Or if you see somebody stealing food from the supermarket, you didn't. They're insured for a reason. Too bad. Oh, shit. Oh, well, I'm going to go offline and delete the VOD so there's no evidence. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Tomorrow night, I will continue working on the attack on Burger Panther. So, in like a day plus another 10 or 12 hours. Time is a thing. There's a schedule below. Thank you for watching. Steal from Mr. Tamiya himself. Yeah, he probably wouldn't notice. He's probably rich. Don't actually steal stuff. It's naughty. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow. Farewell.